welcome back to the JLR Guru channel, and in this video we're going to learn two things. Number one, I've had a haircut, and number two, why I think that the F-Pace D300 aerodynamic SE is the best all-rounder in Jaguar's current lineup. So we'll have a look around the outside, and then we'll have a look inside, and then we'll take it for a drive. Right, so let's just have a quick walk around the outside, and just while I'm doing that, I just want to thank each and every one of my 1,000 plus subscribers. You've helped me reach a real milestone that I never thought we'd get to on the channel, and that's why I thought it'd be quite fitting to film this car just as we go past 1,000 subscribers. If you may remember, the first video I ever shot for the channel was this car when it was in our showroom. And it has been by far and away the most popular video on the channel, approaching 50,000 individual views. And that's why I thought we'd look at where we started, where we are now, and use the same car as well. But we can do a bit more of an in-depth review now that it's actually a company demonstrator. So then, starting at the front, so we get the 3D surround camera mounted just above the Jaguar badge. All F-Pace now come with the LED headlights with the twin J-blade running lights. They all have the headlight washers, they all have front parking sensors. This one is the aerodynamic, so it gets the sporty front bumper with the black inlays. This one hasn't got the exterior black pack, unfortunately, but as standard they do come with the gloss black alloy wheels. I appreciate mine don't look very glossy at the moment. Fortunately, I drove it home last night and it has picked up a little bit of road grime. Apologies for that. But these are the standard alloy wheels on the SE. If you go for the S, you get 19-inch wheels as standard. And if you go the other way, HSE, you get the larger wheels as standard, with the option to go right up to the larger 22s if you so wish. This car's fitted with the privacy glass as well. Also comes as standard with the keyless entry and exit system, which is why there's a little sort of dimple in the door handles, if you can see it there. Power folding door mirrors is standard. This car's actually upgraded with the sliding sunroof as well, which I'm not tall enough to show you, but it is there. I'll put a clip in the video of it in a second. And then around the back you've now got the facelifted tail lamps. Now full LEDs rather than previously they were part LEDs. Being the D300, you get the twin exit exhausts cut into the bumper as well. Reversing camera, powered tailgate is standard as well. So let's have a look at the boot space just while we're here. So all F-Pace, as I say, comes standard with the powered tailgate. You can operate it from the key, or you can do it from within the car. They all have the 40-20-40 split fold rear seat configuration. Plenty of room in there. You do get a 12-volt power outlet, plenty of hooks, LED lighting on both sides, this sort of side netting partition here as well. And this car is also fitted with a space-saving spare wheel. That's an option, that doesn't come as standard. There we go, so that's the boot space of the new 21 model year F-Pace. Just looking at the side profile of the car, I think this is the best looking SUV on the market, and I appreciate you probably sat there thinking, well, you're going to say that, you sell the things, so, but I genuinely do, whether I sold it or not. I think that is one of the best looking, probably the best looking SUV on the market at the moment. Change my mind if you want to, but that's what I think at the moment. So anyway, let's have a look at the interior. So nothing really changed in the interior in the back of the car for 21 model year, other than you now get this slightly different trim of leather on the seat. You get the the trim running down the centre of the seat there with the twin stitching. So it's ebony leather with light oyster contrast stitching. Of course, you get a full set of floor mats as standard. You get these nets on the back of the seats. You get the heater vents and a power outlet there as well. You can opt to have these as heated seats. This car's not fitted with that option. As you can see, you get twin Isofix points on the 2 outer seats, and you get a row of 3 headrests and a centre armrest. The main changes are on the door cards. So the door cards are completely redesigned from the last F-Pace. They now incorporate the Land Rover switchgear for the windows, silver grills for speakers, new door handles, leather trim on there as well, speakers there, and a sort of cubby hole there as well. So that's the rear. Let's have a look at the front. Okay, so one of the main differences then on the driver's door card is previously your window switches were about here. They're now down here. Me personally, I don't really have a problem with them being right at the top, but Jaguar felt the need to move them. The SE comes as standard with memory seats. They're 16-way adjustable. All-round electric windows and power adjustable door mirrors, of course, standard. You get the Jaguar backlit kick plates. Seat switches here, so you've got backrest, seat base, which you can lift this for the height. This you can actually tilt it, and of course you can move the whole thing forwards and backwards. This here is your lumbar support, so you can move it up and down, forwards and backwards, and this little toggle on the circle switch here, that actually inflates and deflates these side bolsters here to grip you in corners, and this one actually extends the seat base itself, so you can extend this forwards if you've got longer legs and you want a little bit more support. New for 21 model year was the steering wheel, Pivi Pro system and gear selector. The new steering wheel is lifted straight out of the I-Pace, but on F-Pace it's sort of like, it's got this sort of weird trim here and then it stops there, so you've got like sections of it here. It's really nice to use actually. The centre leather, actually, if you can see that, is sort of semi-perforated and then smooth on the outer edge. That's a really nice steering wheel to use with those thumb grips. It feels really nice when you're driving along. 11.4 inch Pivi Pro touchscreen, which I do have a video on the channel all about that if you want to have a look at it. And then the new baseball style gear selector, called such because it has twin stitching down the middle. And then you now get the armrest here, which does actually extend forwards by that much. Makes a bit of a difference. And then you've got the digital driver's display, which I'll show you in just a second. Oh, and this car, as I say, is fitted with the glass panoramic sunroof. That's an option there as well. There we go. So let's jump in and have a look. Right, so I'm not going to spend too long showing you the interior from the driver's point of view, because you've already seen it on the channel as well, and there's also a dedicated video all about the Pivi Pro, so I'll leave that out just for now. I'm just going to show you the digital driver screen. That is super crystal clear, but it doesn't do what Audi's does, and you know, I don't know why Jaguar don't get on board with it. It doesn't do things like your Google Earth in the map section there as well when you navigate, unfortunately, but you know, you can't have everything, can you? This car's got the heated steering wheel option, cruise control is standard, dual-sided climate control standard, heated front windscreen, heated seats. It's got the mode selector here, which I always just click over into dynamic. I just prefer it. But what I can also do, this car is actually fitted with the configurable dynamics, so I can go into this section here while I'm in dynamic mode, and I can change how I want the car to behave for each individual component. So I've got engine in dynamic, steering dynamic, but I like the suspension in a slightly softer setting, so I've dropped that back to comfort. Gear shifters, I don't use the paddles anyway, I let it do its own thing in automatic, but I can go in there and configure that. You do also get a stopwatch, a lap timer, and a G-meter. Not entirely sure why you'd need those three things in this particular type of car, but they're there if you need them. And again, just a quick look around the interior. It's a really nice place to sit. The seats are super comfortable, but I'll talk more about that as we go for a drive in the car. Speaking of which, let's hit the road. Right, so I'm out on the road in the 21 model year F-Pace now, and I'm in a bit of a contraflow, so I just want to talk a little bit about why I think this is Jaguar's best all-rounder at the moment, and it's in this particular configuration. So F-Pace, D300, aerodynamic, SE spec, and I've got an F-Type at the moment. I went for a haircut this morning, and I could have quite easily got in the F-Type, and I could have put the roof down. It's nice temperatures, what, 13 degrees today. I could have put the roof down and gone and enjoyed that car, but I chose to go in this car, and that says a lot where you're choosing this over something like an F-Type that's, you know, a sports car and roof down and noisy and, you know, it's supposed to be fun. Maybe it's the novelty that I've not had this car very long. I've only had it a week. But I just wanted to drive this car, and that's why I like it, because it makes you want to drive. It makes you want to just get in it and take it for a drive. It's powerful, it's comfortable, the spec is right, it looks good. If I wanted to, I could open the panoramic roof. It's just such a nice all-rounder. And yes, you could go up to a HSE and you could fit the sports seats to it, the sports performance seats, but you know, unless you really want them, I don't see a need for them. As I say, it comes down to personal preference, and if you've got them, they look amazing, and I don't blame you. They're a fantastic seat. But in here, I can use this every day for a commute to work. That I commute, a round trip is 102 miles from my home to my place to work and back again. Not once have I got out of this car feeling tired. Not once has my back started to ache. You know, it's just such a nice car to drive, and I do a mixture of motorway driving and sort of back road, country roads, and then into town where I work. And in all those scenarios, it just works. It's a nice place to be. And if I were to come up behind a lorry or a tractor or something, and I needed to overtake it quickly, I know that this D300 inline 6 2021 engine, bang up to the minute, has got the power, if I just pop it in sport mode, has got the power just to overtake something using the torque of the engine. It's so quick. It feels quicker than my F-Type, and my F-Type is a 340 horsepower supercharged petrol. This is a 3 litre straight 6 turbocharged diesel with only 300 horsepower, and it feels quicker. But I just want to talk a little bit about the spec that it comes with then. So this is the SE model. I mentioned the options that the car's got, and I'd probably spec those options if I was buying this car. So let's just talk a little bit about the Pivi Pro system. So it comes with the navigation, it comes with the Bluetooth connectivity, it comes with the media interface where I can get into my DAB radio, AM, FM. It comes with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's connected to my phone at the moment. It's doing internet radio if I wanted it to. Everything's fine on there. 3D surround camera I've not really found a use for it yet, but then again, I've not actually driven the car into, say, a town centre or a multi-story and I had to park it somewhere, you know, in a bit of a tight space. I did go through a drive-through to get a coffee the other morning, and while I was in the queue, I just thought I'll put it on, and it was quite good that I could see around the car and see where my wheels were in relation to curbs and things like that. Heated windscreen. It's been a bit of an odd April. There's been frost on cars in the morning. Heated windscreen's good. It comes as standard. Heated seats. Heated steering wheel's been nice, although this one actually heats up a lot quicker than my previous F-Pace. Gets to the point where you only need that on for about 5 minutes and the steering wheel's warm enough, whereas the previous one would probably be about 10-15 minutes before that was up to temperature. This car, I don't know if you can, no, you can't see it at the moment. It's got the blind spot assist, that comes as standard. It's got the power folding door mirror, it's got the electric windows. I have had the panoramic roof open on a couple of drives home. Like I say, it's been quite cold in the morning, but it's been quite nice at night, so I've opened the roof and done a little bit of open top driving, or open roof driving. Yeah, there's not really much more to say about it other than it's just the perfect all-rounder. So once I get out of this 40 miles an hour limit section, we'll check back in, and I'll open the taps a little bit and talk a bit more about the performance. But for now, it's just a nice cruiser, as you can see. Arm up on the door, one hand on the steering wheel, sit back. Like I say, it's several cars in one. You could drive this during the week as your daily, and then if you want to go out at the weekend and thrash it, it'll do it. Anyway, I'll check back with you in a second once I'm out of this contraflow. Just while I'm driving through this little town, I just want to talk about the quality on this car as well. In the old one, it was a really nice car, it was comfortable, the switchgear was nice, it was easy to use, the infotainment system was good. In this one, they've taken it to the next level. The leather on the steering wheel is like super soft. These indicator stalks, nicely finished off with this little sort of silver on the end. That's really nice. Not metal, it is plastic, but it just looks nice. The buttons on the steering wheel, they're hidden until lit rather than just being buttons that you press, so I don't really see a need for that, but it looks nice. There's ambient lighting in the cabin, which you can actually set for 3 sections, so you can have the dashboard and the footwells and things like that, different colours, which is really, really nice. And the leather on the seats is a really good quality, it's stitched together well. There's leather on the door tops, there's leather on top of the dashboard. The heater controls, they're really nice to use. They actually are a multi-function. What they do is you can actually push them inwards, and that'll mean you can adjust your seat temperature or switch on your heated seats or cooled seats if you've spec'd those. You can leave it in the middle and it'll adjust your temperature, or you can pull it outwards and that's your fan speed. And of course you can actually synchronise driver and passenger temperature, so you can do the same for driver and the passenger gets the same temperature as well. Or of course you can have them split, it's entirely up to you. But yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about the controls and what the car feels like. And as I say, if you're thinking about buying one of these cars, that guy's definitely not, that's a V8 Mercedes G63. He's happy burning fuel over there. Don't think about it, just go down to your local Jaguar dealer, make an appointment, go see him, go sit in one. You'll be able to take one for a drive now, because we're out of, well, not out of lockdown, but the restrictions have been lifted on businesses like ours. And go and drive one, you'll absolutely love it. Whether it be a D300, a D200, a P300, just whatever it may be, just go and have a drive in one. And you'll see that this car has come such a long way from the car that was launched in 2016, the original version, and that was a fantastic car as well. I mean, I ran one for about 13,000 miles over 7 months. Never put a foot wrong that car. It was just such a nice thing. But this is the next level. So yeah, just wanted to talk a bit about the controls there, and just coming down to a roundabout now where I'm going to go through and go onto a 60-mile-an-hour road and see what the performance is like. So I'll check back in with you then. Right, it's just coming down to this roundabout here where we'll be able to get off this main road and onto a bit of a back road and open the taps and see what it can do. I'm going to engage sport mode. We're already in dynamic mode because that's how I drive the car. I prefer it over comfort. Speed limit, right. That's a quick 0 to 60, or 30 to 60, sorry. But again, we're on this road now, and it's become a different car. It feels like a sports car now. It's got the power, the steering's responsive. It's responsive without losing. You don't lose any sort of feel through it. You can still feel what the front wheels are doing while it's in dynamic mode. Brakes are good. Just braking here for this slow corner. This long sweeping corner. You know you're driving an SUV, but it doesn't want to flop all over the road. You know, crash from side to side. It feels planted and it just feels sporty. It's a proper driver's car, really, that you can also use for carrying the family around, going to the tip, going on holiday. it's just a nice car to drive. Throw it around these corners. It's on Pirelli tyres at the moment. They're gripping well. It doesn't sound bad, to be fair, for a diesel. Let's just try the brakes. Oh, they're very strong. So like I say, a brilliant all-rounder, this car. So I've slowed it down a little bit now, and I pulled over just to do a few shots of the car for the cinematics. And just while I'm going down this slow road here, I thought I would talk a little bit about specs that you can go for, specification levels. So F-Pace is available either as a standard car or as the aerodynamic version that I've got here. And you can have that in either a S, an SE that I've got here, or a HSE specification level. Now SSE and HSE are spec levels and nothing else. They don't denote any engines that you can have and things like that. They just determine the amount of equipment on the car. Engines, so if you take diesels, you've got a D165, which I wouldn't bother with because it's not powerful enough for the size of the car. I would go for at least the D200 or the D300 that I've got here, the 300 being a 6-cylinder, the previous being a 4-cylinder, and that's your lot for diesels. There isn't a V6 version anymore, all in line. Petrol engines, you have got a P250, a P300, both of which are 4-cylinder petrol engines, or you have got the P400 or the P400E, and those are 6-cylinder 3-litre engines. The P400E is of course the hybrid. It has a separate electric motor, and the P400 is the same engine that you get in the Range Rover Sport HST, for example. And even if you went for entry-level specifications, so let's say if you went for an S, you're still going to get luxuries like heated seats, 3D surround camera, navigation. You're going to get full leather. You get all the creature comforts on these cars. Going up to an SE just gives you a little bit more, and it would be my specification choice if that's what I was going to do. If you said to me build one that you're going to have, I would definitely go for an SE. And you're up then to things like bigger wheels, digital drivers, display, memory seats, more adjustments on the seats themselves. So that would be my choice. Colours, Jaguar have done a little bit of a strange thing with colours. You've got Fuji White as the no cost option colour, which is the one I've got here. You've then got all your normal metallics, they're standard metallics at $895 as a cost. Things like your Hakuba Silver, Santorini Black, Eiger Grey, Firenze Red, Blue Fire, Portofino Blue, that sort of thing. And they've then given you the option to go to SV custom palette colours, so you can specify things like Velocity Blue, you can go for things like British Racing Green, Sorrento Yellow, all these colours, but they're getting on for £4,500. Now, I understand that you've got to pay for exclusivity, but I think that's just a little bit silly. I mean, I could understand if you were to charge for those colours like you do for things like the Carpathian Grey, which is a premium paint, and that's, you know, what's that, £1,300, something in that sort of region, I can't remember off the top of my head. That would definitely be something to consider, rather than £4,500 for a paint colour. But yeah, there will be very, very exclusive colours if anyone were to purchase one in those colours. Interior colours, you can have now the ebony that I've got here, which is what most cars are spec'd with these days anyway. You can have, I'm just going to stop here actually, you can have the Sienna Tan, which is the tan leather, or you can have the light oyster, and you can have the Mars Red. The Mars Red, I've seen one in Mars Red. There's too much red for me. If you like it, that's brilliant. I'm sure you'll love it. But for me, it would have to be either black or the light oyster for me. If you go for a non-aerodynamic car, the light oyster is actually applied to the centre of the steering wheel. So you know, I was talking earlier about the sort of lip on the steering wheel that goes right around the edge, and there's like a leather fold lip there. The inner section where it's perforated on this one will actually be light oyster. I've not seen one yet, but I think it'll be quite nice. I've seen it on the configurator, of course, but I've not actually physically sat in one with that steering wheel, and I don't know if that might just be a little bit too much to be sat in front of you, being quite bright, but I'll wait to see one. Same applies if you go for the Sienna Tan, and of course the Mars Red is only available on an aerodynamic. So yeah, so should you buy one? Definitely, of course you should. Absolutely, go to your Jaguar dealer, make an appointment, go and have a look at one, drive it. You'll fall in love with the car. It is a beautiful all-rounder. You won't regret it, and I give you my assurance on that. It is a lovely, lovely car. I mean, don't get me wrong, my preferences aren't going to be the same as yours, but that's why there's so many options available on these cars, so you can choose a car to your own specification, have exactly what you want, and if you have to order it, then yeah, fine, you're going to be waiting, what, 10, 12 weeks, something like that, but you'll get exactly what you want. I don't expect there to be a car off the shelf for everybody. But I really do think it is the best all-rounder that Jaguar currently produce. With this engine, this spec, in this car, I don't think you could go wrong. So that's my review finished of the car. I would give it, if you ask me for an out of 10 score, I'm definitely going to say a 9, because the car, although it's for me, it meets all my criteria in terms of driver engagement, specification, looks. It's just the cost of the car. This is approaching this is nearly a £60,000 car, and you know, when you bear in mind the Range Rover Sport is only a few thousand more than that for a start price, which I appreciate is only the base car of that, but it's very, very close to that. And you know, I think if this was, you know, even maybe just £6,000 or £7,000 less, it would be value for money. So that's why I can't score it a 10, just because of the price of it. But if you've got one, let me know what your thoughts are on it. I know some of my viewers have got these, because you've sent me photos of it when I did the viewers car video. So send me your thoughts on the car, let me know in the comments, email me if you want to, thejlrguru@gmail.com. That's my review finished. I just want to say thank you very much to each and every one of my subscribers. As I said earlier in the video, we've gone over 1,000 subscribers now, and that just means the absolute world to me. I can't believe that you guys want to sit and listen to me go on about cars, but you know, we do share a common interest, so I can understand that. But yeah, over 1,000 subscribers. I've only been doing the channel 4 months, so it really does mean the world to me. A lot of my viewers aren't subscribed. I can see that in the stats when I have a look at in the background of the videos. So if you're watching the video and you're not subscribed, do please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me. It takes 10 seconds for you, but it means so much to a YouTuber like me, because it gives me the inspiration to carry on making videos, knowing that there's an audience for it. So I'm going to wrap the video up there. It's been quite a long video. Hopefully you've enjoyed my review, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks ever so much, and bye for now.